We know you're kind of friends with Ilia too, and you know you're friends with Arman. Do you see them fighting this year?
I hope so. It's a good fight for the both guys. So fighting is, we need to know who is the best fighter in the world. So the both guys is best fighters, yeah. So I will be happy to watch that fight. Yeah, it's a crazy fight. Arman is good moves, like he has a good kick, good wrestling, and the other guy has a good jiu-jitsu, a good puncher, you know. So it would be cool to watch that fight.
Ilia Topuria thought stepping away for personal reasons would calm the noise around him, but instead, it lit the fuse. Within days, a wave of backlash crashed over him after fans spotted clips of him celebrating, dancing, and firing off meme-filled jabs on social media. What was supposed to be a private break suddenly looked like something very different, and the MMA community did not hold back. But while Ilia's situation was exploding online, another shock hit the MMA world, this time from Tom Aspinall. After staying quiet for weeks, he finally revealed the full extent of his injuries from those brutal eye pokes, and the news left fans stunned. The scans showed damage far worse than anyone realized, and now the entire heavyweight picture is hanging in uncertainty. And in the middle of all this chaos, Arman Tsarukyan is stirring things up again, taking aim at rivals and pushing himself deeper into the spotlight whether they like it or not. Make sure you hit subscribe to stay locked in, and let's dive right in the video. When Ilia Topuria first said he was stepping away for personal reasons, most fans actually felt bad for him. People thought something serious must be going on in his family or personal life. They were ready to give him time, no questions asked. Ilia was on top of the world, holding gold and talking like one of the best in the sport, so to step away like that sounded heavy. Fans talked about how he needed to focus on his kids, rebuild his life, and come back when he was ready. But then, not long after that announcement, a video started making the rounds online. It showed Ilia partying with his brother, smiling, dancing, and looking like he didn't have a care in the world. Instead of a broken man dealing with tough problems, he looked like someone having a great time. That's when the mood changed. The same people who were defending him started to turn on it. People began asking, if things are so bad, why is he out celebrating? Others said he was using personal issues as an excuse to sit out and avoid the hardest fights. Some fans even joked that the only thing he was recovering from was a broken heart. Comment sections were full of people calling him soft, saying the division had to move on without him, and that real champs fight through storms, not dance through them. Even though nobody truly knows what is happening in his personal life, the internet rarely waits for facts. For many, that one party clip was enough to flip the narrative. Suddenly, Ilia wasn't the fearless king of the division. He was the guy who stepped away, then got caught looking like everything was just fine, and that's when the backlash really started to grow. Things got even worse for Ilia when he decided to jump back on social media and poke at Paddy. Instead of staying quiet and letting people forget about the drama, he sent out a tweet that set the MMA world on fire. He posted a video of a young kid who kind of looked like Paddy, with the classic haircut and round face, and added a message telling Paddy to win his next fight, keep his hands up and chin down, and ended it by saying that the dance was for him. On the surface, it sounded like just another bit of fight banter, but fans didn't see it that way. Remember, this was the same Ilia who said he needed time off for personal problems. Now he was online making jokes, dancing, and clowning another fighter. People started calling him out, saying that if he had time to make memes and troll Paddy, he had time to train and defend his belt. Comments rolled in accusing him of being obsessed with Paddy while being too nervous to face real threats like Arman Tsarukyan. Some fans said Paddy was living rent-free in Ilia's head. Others dragged him for having Dana privilege, claiming the UFC was protecting him, while other fighters stayed active and took risks. Instead of looking like a proud champion on a break, Ilia started to look like someone picking safe targets from the sidelines. The more he posted, the more people piled on, calling him fake, emotional, and hard to trust. It's not that fans hate trash talk, they love it. But trash talk hits different when it comes from someone who just told the world they needed space, then jumps right into making fun of others. For a lot of people, that tweet didn't just feel like a joke. It felt like proof that Ilia's break was not as serious as he made it sound, and that made the backlash feel even heavier. While all that was going on with Ilia, another story in the MMA world reminded everyone how dangerous this sport really is. Tom Aspinall, one of the most exciting heavyweights in recent years, finally shared his medical reports after suffering those ugly eye pokes that had fans arguing for weeks. At first, many people thought it was just another freak accident that would heal up quickly. Some even said he was being dramatic or that the fight should have gone on. But once the medical details came out, it became very clear how wrong that take was. The scans showed that Tom didn't just get poked in the eye. He suffered serious trauma to both eyes, something doctors called significant bilateral ocular trauma. On top of that, he had damage to the soft tissue around the eye, issues with the tendon that helps the eye move, and even a small fracture in the wall of his eye socket. He was dealing with double vision and ongoing problems that could affect daily life, not just fighting. Imagine trying to train, move, or even walk around your house while seeing two of everything. That's what he was going through. Seeing those medical terms written out made fans stop and think. This wasn't about toughness anymore. It was about his long-term health and even his ability to see properly in the future. Tom didn't give a clear timeline for when he would return, and that worried a lot of people. Heavyweight is a division where one punch can end a career, and if your vision is even slightly off, you're at huge risk. The whole situation reminded fans that fighters are not superheroes. They are human beings whose bodies can break in ways you can't always fix overnight. People who once argued that Tom should have pushed through it started sending him love and support instead, hoping he would heal fully before ever thinking about stepping back into the cage. While Tom was dealing with serious injuries and Ilia was getting cooked online, Arman Tsarukyan was busy building his image as the grim, no-nonsense contender who doesn't care about hype. In a recent interview, he didn't hold back at all when he spoke about Paddy Pimblett. Most fighters, even when they talk trash, like to keep a little bit of respect in their words, just in case they have to shake hands later. Arman wasn't interested in that. He said that if he ever got to fight Paddy, he wouldn't even bother going for a choke. Instead, he said he would just elbow him in the face over and over, all night, until his face was a mess of cuts and blood. He sounded like someone describing yard work, not another human being. It was cold, but that is part of what made fans pay attention. He also made it clear that he sees how the game works. He said the UFC is giving Paddy easier fights on purpose because they know he would lose to killers like Ilia or him. He said real fighters like him are just waiting for their chance, while the popular ones get pushed to the front. Then he went a step further and offered to help Justin Gaethje train for his fight with Paddy. He said he would fly out and give Justin all the help he needs. That offer made waves. It wasn't just about one fight. It showed how badly Arman wants to see Paddy lose and how much he wants to be seen as the guy who doesn't care about marketing, only about proving himself in the cage. For many hardcore fans, that attitude is refreshing. In a time when a tweet can be more important than a win, Arman comes across as the opposite, a quiet storm that just wants to smash whoever is in front of him and move on. All this growing attention on Arman also made more people look back at Ilia and question his choices. To a lot of fans, it feels like the sport is at a turning point. On one side, you have dangerous, hungry fighters like Arman, who want every hard fight they can get. On the other side, you have champions like Ilia who seem to be pulling back right when everyone wants to see them tested. People started to put timelines together, looking at when Ilia last fought, when he said he'd return, and how long he's been away. At the same time, Arman has been staying active, talking less than others but making more statements inside the cage. The styles also play a huge role in the story. Arman is known as a pressure-heavy, grinding fighter who can mix his wrestling and striking in a way that breaks people over time. Ilia is sharp, explosive, and powerful, but he has not faced a lot of guys with Arman's mix of pace and toughness. That's why so many fans think this is not just another matchup. It's the hardest one out there for Ilia. So when Ilia says he needs more time or personal space, the timing looks suspicious to some. They see Arman getting closer to a title shot and feel like Ilia is trying to stretch the clock and wait for a different challenger, maybe someone older or less hungry. Whether that's true or not, the feeling has spread. The longer the fight doesn't get signed, the more people are convinced Ilia is avoiding it. For a champion, that's one of the worst labels you can get. Even if his reasons are real and serious, the story online has already moved in a different direction, and it paints him as someone running from the most dangerous man in his division. While all of this drama is swirling around Ilia, Arman, and the rest of the contenders, there's another big layer to the chaos: matchmaking at the top. At one point, a post from UFC Brazil seemed to leak a huge fight, Max Holloway versus Charles Oliveira at UFC 324. The tweet didn't stay up long, but it didn't need to. Fans took screenshots and spread them everywhere. People started talking like the fight was already locked in. A rematch between Max and Charles is massive on its own, especially with both of them holding special spots in MMA history. But then word started coming out that the UFC changed plans. Instead of Max versus Charles headlining that card, they went with Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett for an interim belt. For hardcore fans, that felt strange. On paper, Max versus Charles is a legacy clash between proven champions, while Justin versus Paddy looks more like a wild, high-risk test for a rising star. Many people think that choice shows where the UFC's focus is: star power, controversy, and big talk. And when that kind of matchmaking happens, it affects everyone underneath. If the top of the card is being built around hype, then contenders like Arman and even champions like Ilia get pushed around like chess pieces. Fights they thought they were getting suddenly disappear. Matchups they wanted get replaced. Timing is everything in MMA, and when cards change, careers change with them. For fans watching from the outside, it can feel like pure chaos. One moment you're sure you know the next big fight, the next moment the whole board has shifted. And in the middle of this moving puzzle, fighters like Ilia and Arman are trying to hold on to their momentum, their reputations, and their shot at greatness, while everyone online judges every move they make. In the end, all these stories show just how fast things can change in the MMA world. One moment Ilia Topuria is on top, the next he's fighting off a storm of backlash that grows bigger every time he posts online. Tom Aspinall goes from a title threat to someone dealing with injuries that could affect him for the rest of his career. And Arman Tsarukyan, who once sat quietly in the background, is now becoming one of the most talked about contenders in the entire sport. Every fighter is dealing with their own battles, whether it's pressure, health, or public opinion, and fans get to see it all play out in real time. The division feels like it's shifting under everyone's feet, and nobody knows who will rise or fall next. That's what makes this moment so interesting. Every decision matters. Every tweet matters. Every injury changes the future, but one thing is clear. When these three names finally cross paths inside the cage, it's going to shake the sport in a way people will talk about for years. If you want to stay locked in with all the updates, twists, and breaking news, make sure you hit subscribe to MMA Desk so you never miss what happens next.